Right, hi folks, another day. The car's not looking too bad, the bulkhead's dried out quite nicely, and I've got a plan of how I'm going to finish it, so I'll tell you what it is. Okay, so bulkhead looks good, happy with that, or top of the bulkhead. My plan is I'm going to flip the bonnet over and get the frame out of it. It's much easier to work on the bonnet with the frame out, and the frame all needs stripping and painting anyway because it's quite disgusting. Once I've done that, I'm going to prep and paint the inside of the bonnet, and then I know the doors fit to the body shell really well, so I'm going to prep and paint the door shuts, the back wings across the back deck, back wing door shut on the other side, so the main tub is all painted. Once I've done that, I'm going to paint the inside of the doors and the hinges and hang the doors. Now, as I said, I'm really happy with the way the doors fit to the back wings and the seals. The only thing I'm not sure about is how the bonnet and the doors are going to line up. So I'll paint all the tub, I'll paint the inside of the doors, I won't paint the outside in case I've got to adjust them, and I'll hang the doors. Then I'll put the bonnet back together, I'll hang the bonnet, and then I'll paint, once I'm happy with the fit and the shut on the bonnet, I'll paint the bonnet and the doors on the car. The only other bits I've got left to paint are the front valance, which is over there, and the side sills, and I think the rear valance, which is over there, and I'll still have the boot lid to paint. So I'll paint all those parts off the car and then refit them. So that's the plan, and I'm aiming to try and get it all done by first, maybe second week in January. So we'll see how we get on. Right, that's the frame all out. Got the brackets off, they need cleaning up and painting. All of these need cleaning up and painting. I'm not sure if I'm going to put these back or if I might try hydraulic struts, but I'll clean them up and paint them first and we'll see. And then the frame is there, so that's all ready for a good wire brush or a good sand down, and then get a bit of paint on that. Most of it cleaned down. There's a few bits that have got under seal on, which are going to need doing with the heat gun and the wire brush. And I've got this bolt seized in here in the bush, so I'm going to give that a soak with some WD, go and have a bit of lunch, and then I'll come back and finish it off. So that's the frame all stripped. I managed to get the seized bolt out. Bit of WD left for 20 minutes, and then a bit of heat on it with just the heat gun. And it came out with a impact socket, and it came out easily. So I've stripped it all back to bare metal. I've just given it a little coat of cure rust because there's a little bit of rust just etched into the metal. So giving it a coat of cure rust, let that go off overnight, and then in the morning I'll prime and paint that. I'll just do it wet on wet because it's not super important. And then once that's done, I can get onto the inside of the bonnet. The bonnet's much easier to work on now the frame's out of the way. You can get your hand in easier without the frame here to work on all these bits. So getting to behind the headlamps and everywhere here where I want to clean up. So it's much easier. So tomorrow morning I'll get the bonnet back up on the bench, and then I'll start sanding the whole of the inside of the bonnet down, get it all prepped so I can shoot a coat of paint over it. I'm not bare metaling it, it's inside. I'm just going to sand it all down, get rid of any little rusty spots. There's a few about, just sand those off, treat them if necessary. I'm going to re-stone chip the wheel arches where I've cleaned them all back to bare metal. I'll re-stone chip those. I'll probably stone chip the back of the front panel because they're notorious for rusting, and I'll stone chip in the front bit where they rot in there. And then we'll get that primed and painted, and that'll be ready to go back on the car, and I can work on the outside of it when it's back on the car. Right, another day. My frame's dried, it wants one more coat of paint. I might paint it on the bonnet, I'll see. It's okay, it's a bit thin in a couple of places, so I'll give it one more coat of paint. They're an awkward thing to paint, even with the gun turned right down, you get a lot of paint blow past it. Bonnet, I've got it ready to prep. I've made a quick start on it. I'm not going to film it because it's going to take hours. But basically I've got to sand it all down, get rid of these rust spots, get them down to metal so that I can put a little bit of cure rust on them. And it's an awkward shape and there's a lot of it, so it's going to take me a few hours. Wish me luck. Well, fair bit of work later and it's getting there. Now I've got all the fiddly bits to do around the wheel arches and around the front panel and everything, but it is getting there gradually. Right, I've prepped it all up and I've sprayed some underseal on the wheel arches, up the lower bits of the wings. I'm not interested in doing a concours finish on this. The days of doing concours finishes are long gone. There's no money in these anymore. So I just basically want it as a car that I can drive and that will last for a little while. So it's all prepped, it's all undersealed. Once this dries off, I'll put the heat on, dry it off for an hour or two, and then I'll give it a coat of primer and a coat of white, and then this is done. I'll be quite happy with it. As I say, it's only a car for me to take to shows. It's not meant to be a show winner. It's just meant to be a clean, tidy car that I can drive. So I think it'll work. Well, I've had the heat on for quite a while. It is drying, but it's a bit thick in places. So I think we're gonna have to leave it over the weekend to dry off, and I'll, well, paint it after the holidays. So that's done. While I've been waiting, I've prepped up all the awkward bits. So both hinges, the bonnet stays and all the brackets for the bonnet. And what I will do on the next one, I will show you my homemade powder coating cabinet and how it works. So for the moment, that's the end of this one. I hope you all have a good holiday. If you could give me a like and subscribe if you haven't, that will be wonderful. It is Christmas after all. Have a great time, folks. See you in the next one.